My name is Ryan. I am with Triathlon.com. And what we're doing here in the 70.3 Washington training group is talking about the swim. The race is coming up September 19th, and here at the time of this recording, it is August 30th. So we got a little bit of time to get ready still, but hopefully you've done the large heavy lifting portion of your training to get ready for the race. So I just want to talk about specifically the swim course. I've done a few other videos on the course and the race overall. I'm going to hit the weather next, and I think the bike course, run course, all that good stuff. So make sure you pay attention for those. So what we're going to talk about is the swim. So 70.3 Washington, hit the website, here you go. Then you get the nice swim course. I always like to save the PDF for later, not print it. Pardon me while I save this. Always love technical difficulties. Save the file to my computer. That way I can always kind of look later. But also you want to make sure that you're going through and checking this periodically, because some races have been changing the courses a couple weeks out from the race. So you just want to make sure that you're up to speed with what exactly the race course is going to look like. So this is it for right now. Here we are, August 30th, and the race is September 19th. So we're 19-ish days away. 20 days away, because there's 31 days in August. But anyway, technicalities. But this is kind of what the course looks like. So this, I want to say, is a fairly complex course. It's not your typical rectangle. It's not a typical triangle. It's not a standard trapezoid. It is kind of goofy looking, but this is what they got to do. They have 1.2 miles. Notice there's only one loop. I do like the look. You know, everybody wants a big question. What's the water temperature? Is it going to be wetsuit legal? I mean, they advertise the average water temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to do another talk about the weather and then kind of look at the water temperature and that type of thing. So what I'd recommend this time, make sure you have a full sleeve wetsuit and make sure you have a backup speed suit, because they have been warmer than usual. I think everybody's been warmer than usual this summer. It's just been kind of a baker, especially in the north and northwest. It's just been crazy. So make sure you're prepared for all circumstances right now at this point in time. Have everything. You got enough time. If you find some cheap stuff on eBay, I know my athletes and club people, they have access to discounts with extra wetsuits. Great. They're doing sales all the time. Great price. Great products. I've had my full sleeve Vortex, I think, for 4 or 5 years. Make sure you have it. Bring it with you just in case. But I digress. We're going to talk specifically about the swim course. So you can see this, see if I can get the whole thing here on the screen for you guys. I don't know if I can. It's a little here. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So if you notice, the start and the transition area are pretty close to each other. So this is one of the special circumstances. We're going to have to walk too far from the transition area and set up to the swim start. I know Des Moines 7.3, we had a bit of a walk. Ironman Tulsa, we had a bit of a walk. This one's nice. It's right there by transition, so you shouldn't have to go too far. Basically, you set up in transition. You walk over to the swim start when they start calling out wave times. Know your swim seating times. I've done plenty of videos on that. Let's be honest with each other, because they're going to do the rolling swim start for 3 or 4 athletes at a time every 4 to 5 seconds. So it's going to be wall-to-wall people. You know, you can swim as wide as you want to, but you're going to add on quite a bit of distance to try to swim wide enough to miss everybody and not, avoid contact whatsoever. So just be ready. There's going to be people swimming over you. You're going to swim other people. There's going to be bumping and smacking going on around there. So just be ready for it. Be ready for the contact in the water. Make sure you're comfortable with that. Because like I said, you could try to swim wide of this stuff. You could do a pretty good job on the turn swimming wide and missing most of the contact. But if you try to swim wide and miss everybody, you're going to add on a substantial amount of distance to your swim. So I would kind of shy away from trying to avoid everybody swimming out wide. So with that, swim a little bit away from the buoy line. The faster athletes like to pick the buoy line. If you're a little bit, cautious and maybe you're not kind of fully up to speed to make the whole 1.2 miles and as efficiently as possible, maybe swim a little bit outside of that. So notice the colors of the buoys. This one probably should be yellow. This little first buoy doesn't look like there's a turn here, but we basically got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turn buoys. So you just got to be mindful. And notice they've got the color-coded buoys for outbound and inbound. So if you're starting to sight out here and you're starting to sight an orange buoy and you're still heading out, you're going the wrong direction. Make sure you're sighting for yellow buoys, and they're on the right when you're swimming out. So all buoys are on the right the entire time. You're going clockwise, so make sure that you're sighting well. The keys for this one, I think, is going to be you'll be facing every direction. I would make sure you have some tinted sunglasses or tinted goggles just for the sun, just in case at any point in time the sun's in your face. Always wear tinted goggles, no matter if it's sunny or cloudy. It really doesn't make a huge amount of difference to have clear goggles for me personally. I'd imagine the water is going to be pretty murky anyway. Most lake swims are, so seeing in the water is not be a big deal. But just have tinted swim goggles. I always advise people to have those. But the key is going to be for this is to be sighting. I like to introduce the Tarzan drill to my athletes, where you're actually doing the swim and you're doing the stroke with your head up, and you do it 25 meters at a time, 25 yards at a time, a lap down, lap back, take a break. Don't do the entire workout. Do about like 200 meters, yards of it, and just break it up for 25. One length of the pool and take a break. It will kind of work your neck, work your back. It'll be all kinds of different. But what I like to do is when you're doing your regular swim soak, you do the Tarzan drill where you're looking up, you're sighting the buoy, you keep it swim, do your breathing, look up. So I sight probably every 2 to 3 breaths. I don't like to just put my head down and swim quote efficiently, because then you look up and you're way off course. The big key is going to be on this one. You got to sight often to make sure that you're staying in line with those buoys. Otherwise, you're going to end up over here on the shore. You're going to end up trying to go in between buoys. It's going to be crazy. In this body of water, it doesn't look too huge, so you shouldn't have really a current to really worry about. But you're going to have kayakers. You're going to have boats. You're going to have jet skis and everything moving around in here. Watching people, keeping track of people. So that there's going to be a little bit of a current moving around. So you want to sight off, especially when there's this many turns. It's nice. You can count the buoys, and usually the maps are pretty accurate as far as how many buoys are out there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buoys for the yellow. Turn, one more buoy, one more turn, one more buoy, one turn, 1, 2, 3, 4 orange buoys. So if you're counting, you can count probably 3 or 4. You'd be like, the turn should be coming up, and you start getting ready for that. And this is, I think we're going to run a little bit of bottlenecks. I'm not doing the race personally, but I'm coaching athletes that are doing it, and I'm giving them the pre-race lowdown on the course and what I think the highlights are going to be. I think you're going to see some bottlenecks going on out here when you get close to shore. This map looks nice and big, but when you get out there and you got the buoys out there, there may be times you're kind of pinched and you're going to be funneled in here. So just be ready for contact. That's all I'm saying. I think it's going to be a big, important key factor. When you're in here swimming, you might be able to cut this short, but I would try to stick to the buoys as close as possible to make sure that you're staying on track. You don't get pinged or DQ'd or penalized or something for swimming off course. Technically, you might be able to swim a straight line to the buoy and then swim into shore. I would imagine you're going to have kayakers and jet skis out there trying to keep you as close to this buoy line as possible. So don't do anything crazy out there. So that's the long and the short of it is it's a technical course as far as that many swims going, and these aren't exactly straight lines. So sight often, keep the buoys in line. It's looking like if the average water temperature holds true, it's going to be wetsuit legal. I'd advise bringing a full sleeve wetsuit. I like neoprene swim caps as well. Once it gets below 70 degrees to keep me warm, I just buy those on eBay or buy them on Xterra or something like that. You have plenty of time to buy them, or 21 days out or something like that. Amazon will get you in 2 days. eBay usually gets you in a week. So I'd hit all those things to find some, maybe a swim skin for a backup if you want that. Like I said, long sleeves wetsuit, neoprene swim cap just to keep warm on the swim. Tinted goggles, I think is going to be key. Just know that doesn't look like a huge long walk to the swim start, so you don't have to budget extra time to make that walk. But I think, like I said, the key that I keep looking at is this is a little bit of a complex route. So sighting. Be sighting all the time. Make sure that you're efficient with your sighting so you don't have to stop or do a dog paddle to do sighting. You need to be out there practicing. So like I said, the Tarzan drill where you're swimming with your head up for one stroke and you go back down, you always want to be swimming and moving forward as efficient as possible. If you keep stopping the sight, it's going to drag you way down on time. If you're not sighting often, you're going to swim off course, and you're always going to be zigzagging back and forth. You can lose time like that. I can't stress enough, if you can't get in open water swimming for practice and doing sighting that way, when you're in the pool, practice your sight strokes. Practice with the head up and doing one stroke, and then you're doing your strokes, your head up, look at the end of the pool. I like to do it when there's people maybe jumping in your lane, trying to find out if they jumped in your lane so you don't hit them head on. That's a good time to practice too, just to make sure nothing's going on. Or if I'm swimming in my neighborhood pool, if the dude's out there cleaning it or something like that, to make sure I miss the hose or something like that, I'm practicing my sighting drills. It's always a good time to introduce that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be the main key. Is there's probably going to be it's going to be a little bit crowded, and you're going to do a lot of sighting to make sure you stay on course. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. That's a pretty quick little take on the swim course here for 70.3 Washington. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Put a comment on there if you loved it. If you didn't like it, didn't love it, put a comment on there what can do better, and maybe I missed some points or something like that. Put that in the comments of the YouTube videos. Like I said, I'm down in Kansas City, so I'm just looking at the maps, trying to do the best I can here, especially for my athletes doing the race. So if you're local and you think, oh, that's not accurate whatsoever, put it in the comments there. I'd like to hear about that too. Get as much perspective as possible, especially for my athletes and people I'm coaching and doing plans for. Make sure they're ready for that. So if you see this on YouTube later, same thing. Like it, subscribe, put a comment in there if you think something could be done better, or you think maybe I missed a good point or something like that. So with that, I want to end the video, and I hope everybody's getting their training in, and we'll see you on race day, and good luck.